Righto. Now, where was I? Yes, where was I indeed? Was I supposed to reload something far back in the past? Or was I actually headed for anything even mildly promising? Was I losing stuff left and right? Was I not? Here's Falagal. Here's Atlas. What is going on here? I could have reviewed this ahead of time, but I didn't! Here's Hilltop. Here's Falagal. Falagal is bound to retake Hilltop, which sucks. I think I've lost a hero over there. Here's Sarakin culting 17 halflings to the north. Really? Those are my reinforcements, Sarakin? 17 halflings? I guess he's the halfling guy. Okay, this guy, Malko over here, is supposed to what? Get phoenixes? Are there any phoenixes there, Malko? Yeah, there are 9. Why haven't I recruited them? Presumably I'm recruiting something else. Here's Atlas. With Tin Men times 38, those silly little upgraded steel golems. And a whopping total of 4 air elementals. Those 4 air elementals are the only reinforcements he's bringing here. Then there's Thundax, I believe. He is Thundax indeed, and he's got bushels upon bushels of reinforcements. And there are 10 more Titans for him to recruit, so he can pass them on to my wonderful hero. Is this actually the last save? I have no idea. Here's Rathmand. Oh, and Rathmand quite possibly is about to die, because he has fled the danger over here of Rebecca and Dimitri, who are about to attack Roscommon. But he landed over here, where he can get pursued by Falagal and then dispatched. Great! Wonderful! Good time was had by all. I was supposed to give him mighty reinforcements, but I didn't! Because I did not have them. Well then, what am I supposed to do with these guys exactly? I think they're stuck where they are. In which case, let's end the turn and, dispel! Observing what was bound to happen, happening. Oh, great. Yeah, he's not making it out of here alive. Well then. Surrendering is kind of pointless, isn't it? Keeping this army is meaningless. Let's just flee. And I'll re-recruit him someplace safe. This castle gets taken over, and in general, the sheer idea of just running around with a single hero in a circle, taking these places over, is completely and utterly ludicrous. That's not the way to go. That's not gonna work. It's obviously not gonna work. Here we have a spiral, I guess. Well, it's not a spiral. It's galaxy-shaped. Here we have what we have over here. I can keep on running in a circle as much as I want, and the obvious thing that's gonna happen is that behind me, heroes are gonna get recruited, they're gonna take over the castles I have just conquered, and then follow me as I go around the circle. And if I turn around, they're just gonna go the other way, or are they? All heroes from the other side will then try to converge on my position. It's pointless, but if I only get a second hero to do my bidding, if I get a second hero that isn't necessarily as powerful as my primary one, but has a decently sized army and some spells at his disposal, like Rathmand, whose army I have just completely obliterated, what little he had there. If I get a hero like that going the opposite way, then we can handle heroes from both directions unless there's some unforeseen circumstance, some absolutely horrifyingly mighty foe that I would have to use my primary hero against. They can both handle all of these castles and everything will just be peace and harmony. Yes, Serenity now. What about this castle? Is there anything there to recruit? I was supposed to get black dragons on my side. Who am I supposed to give the black dragons to, though? Who? Especially considering the fact that I have my primary hero over here with everything in the kitchen sink. Black dragons, phoenixes, and the mighty titans. If I am to do that, what am I supposed to give to Rathmand exactly? What? Am I supposed to skip tier 6 entirely and just bestow upon him tier 5 so he can have the bountiful, plentiful ponies? from the Sorceress's castle, alongside the what now? The Hydras slithering about at a snail's pace. And the Alchmagi, possibly? A reasonably powerful unit in its own right. I could also possibly bestow upon him the water elementals. The dwellings are scattered about this place. I could hypothetically recruit them here and everywhere. Are these the only 2 dwellings from which I can recruit them? I do not know. I do not care. That does sound like a plan. As dismal as it otherwise might be. There's also this place. Does it have any black dragons in it? No, there are none left. It's got literally everything else, but no black dragons. And of course, I forgot to take over these castles entirely. So it's not just a matter of going into separate directions, I also should take care of this. But once I take care of that, it will have been taken care of. For all I know, that's the final castle over here on the inside. The castle of... There's Dragon City over here, presumably there's not another castle there. The castle of magic that I'm supposed to take over is probably somewhere in the midst of this. In the Eye of the Storm. Yes, in which case, the most sensible thing to do instead of all of this nonsense is to go over here, get a shipyard, go to that castle and take it over. Unless, of course, powerful and mighty forces can have converged over there. And trying to take that over with my hero as is would be an absolute waste of time, because I could not compete against what has been accumulated there. I have no idea. Well, and I'm not gonna find out unless I try, am I? My first order of business, I would say, is to re-recruit Rathmund. However, if I do that and do not endow him with a powerful enough force, I'm going to be back to square one. And of course, once you are far enough ahead, you can make quite a few of these mistakes. You make enough of them in a row, uncharacteristically enough, you can actually fall behind. That's the only way to actually come back, to have your opponent make a series of absolutely mind-bogglingly stupid blunders, which I am perfectly capable of. What am I supposed to give this man? Black dragons? If I do that, I deprive my other hero of black dragons. Am I supposed to not recruit him here? Because that's also a possibility, and I've considered that for the longest time. I could recruit him over here in Dragontooth, hypothetically. Hell, I could give him the Dracoliches. Actually, let me correct myself. I could not, under any circumstances, give him the Dracoliches. I don't have them. I've neglected this city entirely. Well, the castle. Throughout this time. So no, he's not gonna get them no matter what. I could recruit him here. Minotaurs. Ah yeah, Till Fall units. Those are certainly going to make matters better. Thanks for the advice. No. I mean, I might, but even if I do that, that's not solving the issue. The question is a general one. What exactly am I supposed to give him if I'm taking Till 6 units from 3 separate castles, rather 3 separate types of castles, and I'm giving all of them, funneling them to my primary hero. If I keep doing that, my secondary hero, by sheer necessity, will never be able to hold them. But he's gotta have something, so what is it? The next best thing? So Till 5? It could be done. And more importantly, do I recruit him over there in the Eye of the Storm? How fitting, yeah. This is basically a tornado. So yeah, it would be the Eye of the Storm. Or do I recruit him elsewhere, give him an army first, and then have him set sail for adventure? Some sort of a... Yeah, well... I guess in principle it's not that important either, because in the end he doesn't need to have that imposing of an army, he just needs to have something, you know, to tide him over, something so he can stay alive. My idea is that I'm going to give him Tier 5 units basically, and possibly water elementals, and that's gonna be it, that should suffice. Alright, let's re-recruit him over here, so he's not in imminent danger of death, as I have just recruited him. Let's give him some Alchmagi, 13 of them, position them centrally, and then reinforce this poor bastard with whatever I have. Yes, that isn't an absolute necessity that I'm going to pass on to Uncle Ivan. So he is going to get all those Alchmagi. He's got 44 of them. That's quite a few. That's plenty. I should also probably teach him numerous spells, except of course that I have not built up my mage guilds all too much. Now have I? Because I have figured since my primary hero cannot cast spells because of whatever that artifact is called. The Orb of Negation, I believe that's what I would have called it. I don't need spells because I can't use spells. Well, there are these two heroes out there who would gladly use spells, but they don't necessarily have spells. So there's that. I can give him the Archmagi. He's presumably the Orb of No Magic. Excellent. The good old magic be gone. Also, hello there, Flame. It is, as always, great to see you. And as I have just recruited these units, my primary hero cannot get himself the extra black dragons I wanted to bestow upon him. And notably, there's also Falagar over there. Ugh. I will eventually prevail, even if I play like this. I know I will, it's just pathetic. Because in the end, they have finite resources. So I can possibly just wait for them to run out. I can outlast them. It is, unfortunately, such a dismal, such a pathetic way of playing through this. I'd rather not, but I can. What can you do? Well, I can, but that always feels bad. I have a very limited supply of black dragons. Giving half of them to one guy, half to the other guy is a troubling proposition, especially since I don't really have that many of them. All of them are on my primary hero, and that's literally 7. That's it. I bring that down to 4 or 3. That becomes quite risky. How much stuff does this guy have? He's got several phoenixes. Now, that's not that mighty of a force. That's between 5 and 9, I believe. But say having 9 phoenixes against a guy with inferior stats, possibly inferior stats, that's not a great fight. That's not something I necessarily want to take. I can take it on my primary hero, because he's got the beefy stats, he's got 18 points of attack, he's gonna crush Falagal. But on my secondary, no. Way far into the... yeah. The only question I have right here, right now, is whether I should just go for the Central Island and win. I have no idea. For all I know, they have 100 black dragons over there. And before I actually go for the final objective, I should prepare a Mighty Falls. That's possible. It's also possible that what they have over there is, say, 10 black dragons on a stick, and that I'm just wasting time and have wasted time for the last couple of weeks, desperately trying to mop up, even though there was absolutely no need to try and do that. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, once again, I could just find out. It's not impossible. And I have been underappreciating the empiricism of it all for decades, honestly. I keep on doing this in all sorts of playthroughs. I ask a question and then I speculate. Hold on, what could the answers possibly be? Well, it could be this, it could also be that. Well, I guess I'll never know. And I never check. I never just check. The fact that it took so many years for me to realize, hold on, if you don't know something, how about you just, try it out, or check, or see, or ask someone, do literally anything other than just throwing your hands in the air and figuring, I guess we'll never know. It's not a locked door in Silent Hill, you can actually find out. For instance, let's find out what the password to the Aqua Tent is, or the Aqua Barrier, more precisely. And let's write it down where I have all the other barriers. The Aqua keyword is bless. Yes, bless that keyword. I think the brown one is artifact, although at this point it's been over a month since I got that password and I no longer have a clue. Here's Dragon City, which is awesome. You can gain... What do you even gain in Dragon City? Experience, stats, the option to recruit dragons, red dragons? Well, if I get red dragons from Dragon City, I could bring them over here, upgrade them to black dragons at a severe cost. I guess. Well, at the very least, if there's one positive aspect of it all, is that I'm in high spirits. I feel fine. So I should be able to not necessarily plow through this. That would be an optimistic assessment that's absolutely not borne out by facts. But at the very least, I should be able to eventually grind the enemies down. In the original game, where they are absolutely brain dead in all of their reactions, intuitions, and shall we call them strategies. So yes, eventually I'll manage. I don't have the goal to do much of anything. So let's not even bother with that. Instead, let's end the turn, see what happens. Let's mostly just focus on slaying those heroes with my primary hero. And of course, you know, just losing castles left and right. That sounds like a brilliant proposition, doesn't it? Let's just slay heroes, force the enemy to re-recruit them, and then watch helplessly as he takes my castles away. As I can't just dimension delve through the map slaying them, because this guy can't cast spells, as I have reiterated numerous times. Let's slay Falagal. He's got 9 phoenixes. How about I block the greater druids as I attack the phoenixes with my own phoenixes? Okay, my phoenixes kill 4 of his phoenixes. His phoenixes deal some damage to mine. Because he's got 3 points of attack, 6 points of defense. I've got 18 points of attack, 13 points of defense. Just saying. But yes, no pride to be taken in that, because once again, this is indeed the mop-up phase. What am I even doing here? Just wasting my time instead of, you know, strategically approaching the situation and wiping the enemies out gracefully. A single phoenix shall perish, alas, alas. But I guess I'll have to live with that. And the enemy flees because I've selected my targets in the wrong order. But that means the enemy will have to re-recruit this guy. Alright, what is the situation exactly? I will get lost because you can't see the entirety of the map all at once, unlike in the mod, well, you know, the engine remake, I guess, which offers you basically everything on the screen at the same time in tiny, minuscule form. Not particularly handy when watching on mobile devices, I am told. And I have been told repeatedly, ad nauseum, you might say. Alright, here's the situation. As far as the heroes are concerned, as far as the enemy heroes in particular are concerned, there's basically one over here, sure, has taken over the castle of mine. How has this castle then been taken over then? When was that? Well, either way, yeah, a hero here, castle there, hero there, hero there. This is the region I presumably should take care of. Although... oh yeah, the map is quite neatly designed. Yeah, it's I guess it's something people have done back in the day. Anyway, my plan is to first head off here, take this castle, because last thing I need is to have a hero pop out from over there and then start taking over things from the inside, so to speak. But yes, back in the day I do recall that also elf elementals, I could also recruit those alongside the water elementals. I guess we will get 3 times. People back in the day used to sometimes consider it reasonably nice and perhaps even beautiful choice to have the mini-map look like something when you zoom out. So in this case we get a nice little whirlwind. It can of course be seen when you're zoomed in, but well, no, it's quite obvious. It's quite obviously a sort of a whirlwind galaxy, sort of a swirly little thing, a spiral of sorts. Actually, no, well, it's not a spiral by any stretch of the imagination. I should stop using that term. Well, in that case, I presumably should, you know, retile the stream. It's not a spiral whatsoever, but it's a series of spirals. So objective is to defeat all enemies. Alas, it is not. It is to go to the Castle of Magic and take that over. I have no idea where that castle is. I presume in the Fog of War, over there in the center of the map. In the Eye of the Storm. But I'm not there yet. Not quite. And of course, I have been chipping away at this map for the longest time. I guess I'm just not a risk taker. It's not who I am by nature. So that's how these things play. I could arm this guy with an army of rocks. There are 65 of them here to recruit, but That's gonna cost a pretty penny because they've just been mounting over here as a force for me to take, but I have not been recruiting them. I'm the inverse speedrunner. Yeah, once again, there's a guy who has beaten the 10th scenario of the Roland campaign in 8 minutes, speedrunning it. It has taken me 8 hours. But then again, the mission is considered difficult. There's literally a TV Tropes entry that links to my playthrough to point out how difficult the mission is. Well, the one bit of recognition I've ever gotten, actually. Amusing as hell. Someone pointing out, here's this guy, and his successful playthrough has taken 8 hours, and that's not counting all the failed attempts. Yes, indeed. Well, I guess one thing that tells us is that I have the tenacity, don't I? Yeah, it all adds up. It all adds up together. I may not necessarily take all the risks, including the unnecessary ones, but also including the necessary ones. I may not rush through things. I am a thorough man, though. I take my sweet time and I check all the things. Has this not been revealed originally, or is there some sort of a magical effect spewing forth of the fog of war? I presume I haven't revealed it. Well, no matter. Alright, is there anything I want to do with Elgon? I'm gonna have him sit in Merrimack. Hold on, have I checked the gold password? I haven't. We shall send him to check the gold password then. This guy, what, is going to wait around with his Archmage until he gets all the rocks and then pass. Oh, why has he taken a Titan? You don't get to have a Titan, dude. Thundax will have the Titans and then he'll carry them over to Uncle Ivan in some far future. This is gonna take forever. Always does. You know what? Never mind. Let's just end the turn. The only hero that matters, pretty much, and the only actions that matter is Uncle Ivan doing stuff in the center of the board, taking care of heroes and such. Everything else is just fluff. Constant decision making on the spot in the heat of the moment, or constant decision making in. Well, if it's not in the heat of the moment, if it's a turn-based game, I wouldn't necessarily call it constant decision-making. Can you give me an example? Because if I do have to make the decision on the spot, like say in Resident Evil, or something along those lines, I can cope with that, precisely because pressure is put on me right there, and I have to act or else I fail. If I am forced to act on the spot, I can do it. And in fact, I do. I wouldn't necessarily say that I thrive under pressure, but it really helps. If you take away my time, if you force me to make the decision on the spot or else perish horribly, then yes, I can perform. You know, which may make my switch to survival horror all the much more reasonable. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe turn-based strategy games are not for me. I don't know. I think I should send this as reinforcements right here, right now. 144 halflings? Yes, please. Some elementals, sure, and a mere 5 titans. So what? By the time he makes it... It's gonna take a while for him to make it to the center. And even longer still for my primary hero to pick up that army. It's better to have reinforcements now than to wait an indefinite amount of time for that to happen in the future. CLPGs. Oh no. Although party-based CLPGs. Oh jeez. By the way, here's Falagal. I can only imagine what that's going to look like. I've seriously considered playing through the remake of Wizardry 1. That might be hell. We shall see. Is it possible to invest? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. You'd have to do it on your non-primary hero, though, because your primary hero obviously has the Orb of Negation. Is that what it's called? The Sphere of Negation. I'm sorry. It's not just an orb. It's an entire sphere. It's filled inside. No, it's not. It's not an orb. It's a sphere. It's hollow on the inside, I presume. I think that's the difference between an orb and a sphere, although, what do I know? Looks like an Easter egg. Yes, the Easter egg of negation. It negates Easter. Falaga and Quicksilver. Can we actually recruit anything in Merrimack to protect it? Is there a point in doing that? The Easter egg of negation. Damn right. It's just basically moving Ivan and nothing else. Unless I want to deliver those reinforcements, which I presumably should. But well, here we go. Well, that was fast, wasn't it? You know, this just goes to show that if I actually decide to take a secondary hero and have him run around, I'm going to face a different problem altogether. After all, he will not have the Sphere of Negation, and as such, he will not be able to withstand these spells, possibly. Well, he may or may not be able to withstand them, but he's going to have to face them, which is rather unfortunate. Okay, moment of truth. Do I actually take these reinforcements and send these guys back, or do I not? Yeah, since I'm already here... Who are you? This is Sarakin. Fine. Let's take the reinforcements since I am here. So we take 16 out of 17 halflings. It's like the dentists. And we take the elementals. Glorious. Now, head on back. Sin no more and so on. Could have sent him through the portal. You know what? None of this matters. None of this matters. Atlas, on the other hand, is going to be the guy recruiting the elementals over here. He's the elemental guy. What's with the stables on Atania? I just don't know. I couldn't tell you. Look, there's a bunch of peasants over here. Hold on, let me find that spot. There's a bunch of peasants over here. A legion of peasants. It had a bottle describing this as the Isle of the Meek. You can't land here because there's just the tree and the peasants. There are no free spots over here to land. So it's just a little Easter egg. But yeah, I guess it just plays with a fundamental, if somewhat illogical mechanic in this game. That is, you can't disembark on a spot that doesn't have a free space. If there's a resource though, you can't just disembark and pick up the resource. If there's an army though, you can't just disembark and attack the army. No clue why. Legion of Peasants are just too tall. Well, you've seen it. You waste a minimum of 3 days of the week if you want to make use of the stables. It's brilliant. Alright, the green keyword is rogue. Nice. And this is... Look, in Blood, I have complained about things being placed in illogical ways, and I guess that makes a degree of sense. However, I will not necessarily say that the same is the case over here. After all, some of these things are designed in such a fashion that you can't really use them effectively, but that doesn't necessarily count against the game itself. No, you have to realize this, and instead of just blindly going for things which seem good, or seem like they would feel good in principle, as a matter of heuristics, you have to really think about these things and consider whether they will or will not benefit you. That's reasonably decent. Whereas if you just place a power-up in Blood in an inaccessible spot, and then it runs out before you get to combat proper, that's not intriguing level design, that's just bad. Though I am open to arguments to the contrary, as ever. Oh goodness, and they're all converging at... Yes. There was no point in trying to protect this place, no point whatsoever. I could have tried to deny these guys the units over there, but that's just not gonna happen. So perhaps I shouldn't have even recruited those 3 Hydras, I don't know. Either way, 3 heroes have gone in over here. We'll be able to take them on, take them out, take both of these castles, and then that area is gonna be secured. At least that tiny bloody bit. But for now... Oh, I can't recruit them because I don't have the sulfur. That is a problem that's relatively easy to solve. Granted, I am taking away from Mercury, which I need to summon phoenixes, but whatever. Let's see. The only thing I want from here are the black dragons anyway. And I don't want to build anything anywhere anytime soon, so I might as well trade away the lumber and the ore. It's irrelevant. Here come the black dragons. I have 10 of them. I'm in double digits already. How marvelous. All right. We're heading inland. Again. We're sending these guys on the merry way. As you can see, I've increased the speed all the way up to jump. Because I really am not keen on wasting my time watching these animations. That's how tired of this nonsense I am. And despite all of that, it still takes a decent bit of time, doesn't it? Look at these guys. Ugh. Waltzing in, taking my units away. Ugh. I'll have to retake all of this again. Dimitri first. Alright, 13 phoenixes. Whatever, I don't care. I take down 3, they take down 1. Unfortunate, I get to attack again. I take down 2. They do not take a single Titan down, they perish. Excellent. Onwards to glory. Take these guys. Black dragons attacking the Crusaders. Done. A single phoenix lost. It's usually a matter of losing a phoenix or two in these encounters. That's okay. Head on north. You head on to where you were heading to. You stay where you are. Don't you dare move. You over here. Thandax over there to reinforce. You get the resources. Yay, 2 units of sulfur. Well, I should have done that as the first thing I did the week. Huh? Well, no matter. No matter. Next turn. They're trapped over there to the north, so I can easily take them on and out. Alright, my plan is to take over this castle, take over the other castle, take the 2 heroes out, and then proceed south, obviously. Now, the only thing that could hypothetically throw a wrench into my gears is if there are heroes nearby that will take over my precious castles. And by precious, I mean Warlock. I only have 2 Warlock castles, this and that. Well, I don't have that castle anymore, so it's a moot point. There are heroes here that I'm about to take care of. A hero over there, that worries me a bit. And then there's a hero over here by the Elf Elemental altar. Let me have a gander at that. That is Crodo with a few black dragons. How unfortunate. Once I get out, I presumably should take care of this arm, the sorceress arm of... not the spiral, whatever this is. Whatever this is. The swirly. Alright, we're here. 3 black dragons. New batch of reinforcements from a brand new week. We take them down with the... We don't take them down with the phoenixes because I'm running out of phoenixes here. We take them down with the titans. We try to get through the moat. Get briefly stuck in it. The phoenixes get lucky. We pee. Fine. The counterattacks from the Titans are going to deal with much. Can we take out a single Griffin with 4 Phoenixes? Yes, we can. And that's about it. The castle has been taken over. Oh, and Uncle Ivan has leveled up. 1 more point of defense, so he's at 14. Glorious. There are no black dragons left, are there? No, they have been recruited. Wisely enough. But it also goes to show that Red has the resources to recruit them. But then again, it also goes to show that Red has spent those resources recruiting them. So it's not all doom and gloom. Only a part of it is doom and gloom. Though a meaningful part. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom, and the turn. Alright. Next up, we attack Let's start with attacking Becky over here. 2 black dragons, 2 phoenixes, and 7 water elementals. Phoenixes usually act first, so let's attack the phoenixes with the phoenixes. Down they go. Black dragons against titans. Titans, lucky titans against black dragons. Lucky indeed. Let's take out a few elementals. Slay Becky. No losses. Sorry, Becky. And Falagal will not flee, because he's fighting within castle walls. There's nowhere to run to. He's surrounded. He's under siege. Let's not even bother. Fine. Let's attack the griffins. Down they go. I need more phoenixes, but of course, reinforcements in terms of phoenixes are going to be difficult to come by. Because I focused on recruiting the titans, and wisely so, I would say. 10 black dragons against 44 hydras, why not? Slay them. Okay, deal damage to them at the very least. Dig into them. Over 500 halflings against hydras. There we go. That's more like it. Finish off the minotaurs. And now it's just the black dragons. Down they go to my mighty titans. No losses were sustained. Falagal is dealt with. Has been dealt with. Quicksilver. Do they have any black dragons in Quicksilver? I presume they don't. They do not. Obviously they do not. Wisely enough. Okay, we're done here. I could have a legion of halflings. Obviously, I presumably ought to have a legion of halflings. We're heading into the Eye of the Storm and the powerful falls that ultimately enables all of this, that allows me to prevail, are those wonderful, tenacious halflings. Hats off to them. Alright, let's have a gander at the map once again. Where are the enemy heroes? Because that's too much stuff to pay attention to all at once. Uncle Ivan is stuck over here, but at the very least we have cleared out the center. I cannot afford to lose this again. Well, I can afford to lose it again, but it's going to be a bit annoying, I guess. And stuff to the south of that has been conquered and is being held by me. I presumably should deal with this bit, although the stuff to the east worries me. Not that it should necessarily. I might as well also build a boat and check what is within. Why don't you... Ha! And I've said that right before you've said it yourself. How about I just... Okay, because I can't get a shipyard over here is one of the answers. No! No! No, hold on. No, 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 no. Not like this. No! No! Well, at the very least, Flame, I have a perfectly fine answer to that question that should satisfy you. Why don't I buy a boat? Because I can't! I can't buy a boat! It's just not possible! Why not? If I can't buy a boat and go on over there because the castle is just too far away from the shore, how exactly am I supposed to summon boat? That's exactly what came to my mind. Seriously, am I expected to get a hero and get the summon boat spell and summon that boat? Do you get a scroll with the spell? What if the scroll with the spell gets lost in the shuffle? Okay, is the summon boat spell anywhere nearby with the real summon boat spell? Please stand up. Anything? Anywhere? Isn't Rathman level 27? Do you think he knows how to summon boats? Not have any guardians. Yeah. But then again, I presume it's going to have just swarms of units. Otherwise, you could just teleport through and sidestep all the gates, which would be rather disappointing indeed. Alright, Rathman, do you know how to summon boats? No! He's got view mines and view artifacts. No boat summoning for him. He's got Resurrection Trudeau. Which doesn't resurrect Trudeau. I have no idea. It is a remote possibility that I'm genuinely supposed to learn summon boat from some mage guild, someplace, and then I'm supposed to summon a boat that's there, allegedly, possibly. Right? Hold on, I have been offered another hero entirely. Hero called Marco. Marco, do you know how to summon boats? No, he's got view artifacts, no boat summoning. What is this? There might be a spot. No. Tell you what. I know. I think it's either going to be a set of lifts that teleports us to the center, or it's just round here. We haven't explored here yet. It's probably a castle near the shore that does actually allow us to get to the center. Or something along those lines. But no, it's probably neither of those castles. Let's not dispel quite yet. I haven't uncovered the entire map quite yet. Let's go after Crodo, right here, right now. Well, not right here, right now exactly, unfortunately. In the near future, I would say. In the short to mid-term. Doesn't have the same sort of ring to it, I'm afraid. Okay. 70... Is this wise? Wouldn't it be better to get, say, 6 titans? On this guy. Well, I certainly could. I'm going to send them in as reinforcements. Maybe summon both is banned. We shall find out soon enough. Is this enough of a force on Rathman to take these guys on? I don't think it is. Might as well get the rocks anyway. Either way. Here's Crodo heading towards our castle, our precious, wonderful castle of, what's his name? Hilltop. Can't let that happen. Can't even recruit all of the Black Dragons. However, I was about to say that's because of the lack of silver. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's also because of the lack of gold. I would have to trade for both, which I am prepared to do. I am absolutely willing to make that sort of sacrifice. I've made bigger sacrifices. Alright. And at this point it becomes a necessity. But then again, if you don't need additional buildings, it's not that big of an issue, is it? Celia Vatavna, the level 1. For all I know, soon enough, I'll be able to re-recruit the heroes I have just slaughtered. Do we want the extra hydras? Do they even matter? Do they? I don't think they do. This guy's here, this guy's there, this guy's on his way. How wonderful. Yep. Bada bing, bada boom, we end the turn, and the moment of truth. Will the castle get attacked? Presumably the castle will... Oh, it did not get attacked. Cold feet, I would say. Cold feet on old Crodo over here. The good news, of course, is that if I am going through here, again, this time in pursuit of Crodo, who was possibly setting his sights on Hilltop, then I'm going to be able to receive reinforcements yet again. How wonderful. Now, of course, that just means I'm going in circles. Not even in circles, I'm just going back and forth like a pendulum. You could honestly describe my movement as a sine wave. Which is not particularly comforting, but then again, what do you do? What do you do? Well, hopefully I will come across something that's going to dislodge me from this state of affairs. Otherwise, it might take me the rest of my life to possibly, well, if I get stuck in will I actually grind them down ever if I just keep on doing this? Or do they have more resources? Can they ever outpace me? Or will we be just stuck in eternal conflict? I'm not sure whether they get extra resources or not. That's also a factor. Let's get extra halflings. Embark once. It's day 7. I shouldn't have embarked. I was just about to check, but unless it was explicitly day 7, I figured it would not make sense. Ugh. Great, he teleports on back, and thus he's gone. It's not that I can't go through the teleporter myself. Ugh. Show me the map. No, M is move. So, what's map? V? V is map, view map. There's a hero over here. We can teleport over there. The forces to the east. How do I want to do this? If I head north, I'll pretty much inevitably have to go back and defend over here. If I go over here... Are there any heroes in this region? Let me check that again. I don't think there are. No, there's one hero over here. So if I head north and take this hero will become a problem. So I'll have to go over here. But if I go over there, then someone will teleport through those stupid dimension doors. And then I'll have to go back again. Well, I shouldn't say dimension doors. That clashes with the name of the spell. But if I go here, then this hero, for all I know, might go all the way back there. And then I'll have to go back again. As I have said, I need a second hero. The second hero is on his way. But it's gonna take him a while before he gets here. Either way, with things being as they are, I might as well attack either Dimitri or Gwyneth. And if I take them on and take them out, and take the castles, that might improve the situation the tiniest of bits, just a smidgen. So let's roll with that. Let's have Saracen disembark yet again, to my absolute and utmost chagrin, in secondary heroes. Yep, that is exactly the way I see it. That's what happens if you have one mighty hero and no dimension doll. You just keep bouncing around like a pinball, desperately trying to accomplish things, and ever unable to do that. I guess it works in all sorts of strategic contexts. It's just the way things are. If they have more prongs than you, then they can just mess with you. I know what the best example is. The moment you figure out how to deal with a tank in Left 4 Dead 2, or indeed the Rat Ogre in Vermintide, the moment you realize that if you have a 4-player team and there's one Rat Ogre, he can only chase one of you if you just spread out. It's impossible for him to be in 4 places at once. So if you have one guy running around or dodging, the remaining 3 can just keep on shooting him. It's just mathematically inevitable. Similarly, obviously, many weak heroes can take all sorts of stuff away from me. And even if none of them, not a single one can take me on, altogether they might possibly wear me down. Not unless, of course, I just go places faster based on expert logistics. Take all the units and so on. But in theory, it's not impossible. Alright, let's deal with the Rangers. I don't want them shooting at my units, but unfortunately my Phoenixes at this point are so weak and so few that it can't take much out. Hello there. Nice. If I brief fire these guys, I am going to hurt my poor beloved Phoenixes, so let's just focus on slaying the peasants with the dragons, as cruel as that may seem. Alright, we're done. Single Phoenix lost, as ever. Alright. This castle is now mine. What is it even called? It's called Whittingham. How glorious. And of course, forces over here have been recruited tier 6, 5, and 4. Nice. Do you have summon boat? You don't have summon boat. Never mind. For all I know, summon boat has been disabled. Zom and Mirini, they're level 1. I don't care. I am leaving. And we're heading here to slay Dimitri. Bada bing, bada boom. You get halflings, get back on the boat. You stay where you are. You stay where you are. You also stay where you are. You have already gotten the resources. That's about it. Save, move on. At the very least, I'm not endlessly debating. So there's at least that. All right. Well, I say that as I am about to endlessly debate. Having a gander over here, there's a hero over there, which once again means that either I go back and defend, or I possibly lose this castle. It's quite a precious castle. I would prefer not to lose it. Who is that? That is Krodo. He's got black dragons. A secondary hero of mine just won't cut it. But we can take on Dimitri, take these 2 castles, possibly get some titans from here, because they apparently can't afford these. Oh, because they don't have access to gems. That would explain things. Yeah, and after I do that, I can head on back through the stone lifts and retake the castle, or possibly manage to defend it in time. We shall see. Yeah, I guess the enemies over here don't have gems, so they don't recruit any of the titans whatsoever. That gives me the edge. The tiny bit of advantage I still have. Oh, come on now. My poor phoenixes, there's only 3 of them left. That's why they can't get anything done. Into the moat we go. My poor phoenixes. Retaliation. Deal with these guys. Deal with the Archmagi. It really takes courage to just stab a phoenix. As an archer, just shank it. Hope for the best. 15 dudes over there with bows trying to slay 2 phoenixes. Alright, we got that. How many titans are on offer? 29, of which I can get 10 right here, right now. Well, aside from the fact that, of course, I can't quite get inside because I don't have the movement points. But other than that, I can absolutely get that. Logos, help me. I think that's it. I really should memorize which heroes are supposed to do what. There's only a maximum of 8 of them, so it's not that much to memorize. Kronos on his way here to the south, trying to deal with this castle, which has 3 more black dragons. 29 titans could probably fund 2 secondary heroes. You know... Yeah, and I'm going to have 42, which of course is the answer to a lot of things. Yeah, if I split my titans evenly. Also, let us not forget, for we would be remiss. And we obviously don't want to be remiss, right? That's the worst thing to be. We could just take Rathmund over here with 6 titans of his own and a plethora of other units. We could recruit titans here instead of recruiting them over there, which is going to make matters significantly longer, but at this point, who cares? And we could send him with a contingent of his own titans on his merry way to take care of lesser heroes. I think that is indeed the solution to our concerns. 45 titans! What am I doing? Oh, I'm sorry, and 39 halflings, of course, because we gotta build up our halfling force. Meanwhile, 2 phoenixes over here are chilling, which is ironic because the phoenixes, they're literally made of fire. Okay, everyone's chilling at this particular point, with especially Rathmund over here, who's kind of stuck. Alright, as soon as I can, I'm going to buy Rathmund a reasonably sized army. I'm going to cart him over to the island over there. Yes, and I'm going to treat him as my secondary hero, as my second in command. The slightly smaller cheese, whatever you want to call him. Hold on, is this in range? Will you get the Crodel? Will you get the... Well, I've got 18 units of gold. I will not be able to recruit 3 black dragons. In fact, he is probably going to get them for himself, because I have made a questionable choice here. But the good news is, I'll probably be... Hold on, he didn't make it! I will not be able to get to him either, but I'll get to soon enough. Oh, and since I am already here... Ah, dear, this keeps on happening. Since I am already here, might as well go over there to the boat, get the reinforcements from Thundax. Obviously, the 5 titans that I also desperately need to feel secure. Oh, and 144 halflings. Excellent. I've got 702 halflings. Insanity. I'm sorry, where does Thundax even belong? What is his job? Because from what I recall, Sarakin is supposed to handle the halflings, that's his lot in life. This guy over here is supposed to give me the phoenixes. Now Atlas is supposed to bring me the elementals, so what does Thundax do? What do you do, buddy? What do you accomplish? I presume he's supposed to give me units from this castle. Oh, and of course the elementals from there. Well... Godspeed. Only 300 halflings left to go. You know, at this point, if I made it explicit that is my end objective, that I just want to have 1,000 halflings by my side as I win, that's at least going to give me a sort of a fig leaf, give me some sort of an excuse to keep face and pretend that I'm doing something logical when I'm absolutely and obviously not. Well, maybe not logical, but at the very least flashy and intentional, rather than, you know, just relying on my own insecurities. What, yellow has managed to defeat red on this? How did that happen? I mean, well, they have random personalities, so I guess that's mind-blowing considering the situation yellow is in, but I guess it's not impossible. Red over here is a warrior, so he will not back down. He doesn't know pity, remorse, or fear, and he absolutely will not stop. But other than that, it's all fine. Alright, alright. Obviously my castle gets attacked. 4 lucky black dragons attack 3 unlucky black dragons. What do I even want to take out? Let's try to attack the wall trolls. Because they have steel skin cast on them, which doesn't really help. Fine, let's get rid of the sprites. Well, I could have attacked these 2 all at once. Imagine shanking a dragon. Alright, let's attack 2 units at once. No retaliation, and this is where my little adventure ends. Losses were sustained by the other side, but at the very least, I recruited those dragons before they got taken over. I've denied Crodo the pleasure of using them for his own devices. It's payback time. And of course, all the castles I have previously taken over there on the eastern side have been taken back. I need more heroes. You know, when numerous people give me the exact same bit of advice, I am absolutely willing to listen. I'm not that close-minded, and I'm not sure you might be the 3rd person to tell me that at this point. That's too many titans all at once. I can absolutely afford to spread them out. I will get a hero over here soon enough. Rathmund is gonna be sent here. He's going to take half of the titans, and he's going to put them to good use. After all, if the sort of armies we are dealing with over here are on the magnitude of, say, 4 black dragons, if you are roughly on par in terms of stats, and you're going to be because these heroes are pathetic, look at this. 0 attack, 0 defense, 10 spell power and 3 knowledge. You absolutely can win if you have 15 titans against whatever they throw at you. Well, you know, that's a good point. Yeah, there's no such thing as too many titans. That's a poor way of phrasing it. No such thing as too many halflings either. Too many titans. A much beloved unit indeed. Alright, alright. Speaking of halflings, let's get more halflings. Let's get more resources. Ah yes, 2 units of mercury. Clearly what I need and want. Excellent. This guy over here is supposed to bring forward the phoenixes. Well, you know, bring back whatever. Like they are some sort of a retro trend. How about we bring back the phoenixes? Yeah. Alright. More halflings. Forget about the rocks. Some Alchmagi, because this is the Alchmagi guy. I don't need all those... Might as well trade the resources for gold. Get as many of those titans as I possibly can over here. It's not like I'm going to need crystals, am I? Nah. So fine. Get 2 more titans and set sail for fun and adventure. And profit, possibly. Let's get Rathmund on that island and not spend the rest of my life going back and forth, because that way lies madness. Also, if I want more black dragons, I have 2 more castles with black dragons on the menu. So there's that. I am receiving 9 recruitable black dragons every single passing week. So I'm not going to be starved for units by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't care how stretchy your imagination is. Alright, the castles to the east have been taken over. Boo-hoo. Except for this one, which still has been left untouched for reasons unknown. There's a hero here, hero there. You know, it doesn't matter how many times I analyze the situation, it remains what it is. There are guys to the west, guys to the east, and guys to the east have a teleporter that allows them to teleport to the west. It's not getting any better. It's not getting any better anytime soon. It's pointless to go over this over and over. Yeah, that's the situation. And anytime I try to go west, guys from the east are gonna teleport through and try to take over this castle. And they're gonna succeed, unless I put a hero there. So what I absolutely desperately need to do, if there's one thing I need to do, and I believe there's basically just one, it is to get Rathmund over here, give him some additional units, and kick ass. Everything else is secondary, including the stuff I do with my primary hero. It's not like my primary hero has any sort of a job to do, a well-described one. He's just going from place to place and reconquering. That's all he's doing. This castle gets taken back, of course it does. The guys from the east are pestering me now, of course they are. Here's Vesper. Slave Vesper. I just need to get Rathmund over here. That's it. That's it. Once I get Rathmund over here, you get some more titans, everything becomes sunshine and rainbows. But before that, well... It is indeed doom and gloom. 50 titans. Sheesh. So do I even want to attack at this point with the black dragons? None of this really matters. Oh no, my elementals got shanked! Oh, and these guys felt brave enough to attack my black dragons. Incredible. Alright, here's the halfling guy with more halflings. How about you deliver those halflings, you know, to your designated halfling delivery point? More resources. Go away, animation. No one likes you anymore. Rathmund is on his way. That's the most important bit of information. Rathmund is on his way. He'll get there eventually. Eventually. Alright, show me the map again. How are we doing? 2 heroes over here, obviously, to the east. I can teleport to the east, but then again, what about the heroes to the west? There's 1. Yeah, and it's gonna take him a while to get anywhere else. So do I go through the lifts again? Ugh. Yes, I go through the lifts. Pacify these guys. Go, stay, stay, go. Stay, go. And turn. Them spreading out like that is annoying as hell. So who do I chase? The guy that went south or the guy who went north? Ugh. Well, at least this guy decided to go south over here. For reasons unknown, absolutely inexplicable. Fine, let's leave Zam and pursue Vesper. Halfling guy on his way. No, no, yes. No, yes. Alright, Vesper's here. Anything notable here? No. Let's take him on. Oh, look, he's got 15 water elementals. That's lovely. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. I've got 119 elementals. The numbers alone make them better. 13 lucky dragons. Ironic. No losses. We visit the fairy ring. Get the castle pursue them. Go, stay, stay, go. Stay, go. And then go, stay, stay, go. Stay, go. Let's recruit some units, if any are available. It's day 5. Yeah, 6 black dragons, but no sulfur. There we go. Next castle, 6 black dragons. No sulfur again. The more I look at it, the more I realize there is indeed enough for everyone to shell. I really don't need all those units on a single hero. That's madness. There's playing it's safe, and then there's that. Yeah, to think that 50 titans is not gonna be enough on this guy. No, I need to have 100. I need 30 black dragons because the 13 won't do. Against these piddly falses, what am I doing? It's just peak neurosis to even consider that a volatile situation. It's all fine. The phoenixes notably act before the fortifications, before the towers, which is cute, of course. And we take this castle over yet again, and we go after Zam. Yet again, quite possibly. Hi, Zam. Shahzam. We move the elementals. Note how they pretty much never do anything. And there's a very good reason for that, obviously. Because they can't fly over the entire length of the map, and they can't shoot. And combat doesn't last long enough for them to actually reach their destination. So they never do anything. But there's a lot of them, which is brilliant. Oh boy. I don't know, do I retake Roscommon again? Oh, by the way, the guy from over here, he's heading south. He wants to take my castle over again. Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? If I were in his shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. Rathmond is on his way though. He'll be there soon enough. He'll get there. It's like bloody Gandalf. Look towards the west. He'll be there. At some point, I guess. Possibly at dawn, possibly not at dawn. Wait, wait, is this the castle? Is this the actual one? It's just 3 dragons. How? What happened to all the other dragons? Oh, no, because I started out by recruiting in Merrimack. And of course, the dragons over here got taken out, yada, yada, yada. Well, that's fine. That's fine. At least I'm denying the foe my precious dragons. Presumably, this castle will fall again, because he'll get there first. Oh, great. And another hero has just teleported to the south to further infuriate me. Because I didn't have enough problems as it is. And it's Falagal, of all the people, it's Falagal. That guy. Here's Eri. Visiting the arena. Of course he is. What do I even do? I presumably teleport and protect that stupid castle. Or, you know, I could recruit more titans if I want to. No, let's teleport and protect. Teleport and protect. Here we are. Let's get rid of Eri. You shall not pass. Oh, the phoenixes are low on morale. Gotta give him all pep talk. Gotta tell them it's gonna be fine. They're gonna do great. You should just get in there and slaughter my enemies. Or not. Alright, that has been taken care of, and now what do I do? Because there's a hero over here, Falagal, he's presumably gonna head for my castle, or possibly for the center spot, and if he reaches the center spot, I am going to be in deep. For obvious reasons, because the other castle's there with my precious black dragons, yet again. And these castles can defend themselves. Despite appearances, he'll just march in there and slay 6 black dragons? I don't know. I just don't know. Yep, he marched right in. Didn't even bother to consider my castle of Hilltop over here. Nope. He's going in with a pack of Cyclopses. Well, he's a mage, so he doesn't necessarily... Yeah, but those are black dragons, so him being a mage is irrelevant. For once. Elementals, yes. And it's day 1. Great, so that's a fresh batch of elementals. Then you head on over here. You pick up the sulfur. Sulfur is exactly what I need. Raphmond, please, for all that is holy, disembark. And save me from this nonsense. Yeesh. Raphmond is here, everyone. Raphmond has disembarked. Do not fear, for Raphmond is here. I could have recruited more units over here. Yeah. Didn't expect him to get into the middle and attack the castle that quickly, but he did! Okay. Well then, if only I could blind those stupid Yeah, if only. Not the Cyclops, it's the trolls. But I cannot. Best I can do is try to take as many of them out as I possibly can, as early on as I possibly can. If I march out with the black dragons, 3 chill, yay. The black dragons are just gonna die. Oh no, 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 don't be like that, no! I object, okay. Okay, fine, I'm not having this. They couldn't even kill the water elementals. All that power is not in the black dragons. All the power was in you all along. All the power was actually in the hero all along. The real black dragons were the stats we have acquired along the way. And there go the not so real black dragons. Okay. Okay. But, as I have stated previously, numerous times, Raphmond is here. Let me take care of the busy work first. Obviously. You know, the logistics of it all. The important part of the game as opposed to the fun part of the game. Even though it's nice when these coincide, they're not always the same thing. Alright, Raphmond over here is gonna take the halflings off of the hands of Sarakin. Thank you, Sarakin. Your contribution to the cause shall not go without, I don't know, acknowledgement, reward, something. Now go ahead and stand in that whirlpool for a second, will you? Wrong destination. How about over here? No, that's back where you've started. Excellent. Go get more halflings. Wonderful. You... Just stay in there. You will possibly, eventually, at some point in your life, recruit phoenixes and bring them back to me. Or not. You stay there by the windmill. That's all you do. You visit the guy once a week, and I'm paying you for that. Brilliant. Okay. Here's Raphmond. He doesn't have that much overfalls yet. Let's give him one. Alright, he's going to give the halflings away, because I want that legion of halflings all of a sudden. I'm going to give him... half of the supply of titans. Well, round it down. Is that good enough? How about I also give him, say, 10 black dragons? I don't need that many black dragons on Uncle Ivan over here. He can deal with a false diminish the tiniest of bits, whereas Raffman is going to need all the help he can get because he doesn't have stats that great. I think this is reasonable. This should do absolutely no harm to Uncle Ivan. He's going to replenish his forces anyway. He's going to recruit all those black dragons as he heads in. And takes care of all the 3 castles. He's got 9 black dragons already, which is splendid. Now we shall go inside, try to deal with Falagal. And while I still can, I'm going to recruit as many black dragons as are enough over here. Yes, as many as I can afford, which is not that many. Oh boy. Fine. Easy doubled Raffman's army strength. Excellent. And here are 9 black dragons that are presumably just gonna die if Falagal gets to them. Because they don't have an army behind them. That's the worst part. But he might split his forces. They usually do that. And it doesn't end well for them. But they keep doing that anyway. And I appreciate the gesture. Alright. Now that we have freed up... What have we freed up? We haven't actually freed anything up. We have just gained another resource over here in Raffman. An additional actor that can possibly deal with major stuff on my behalf. That's the most brilliant part. I have one other guy who can actually do things. Things of significant enough value. Not just run around and deliver reinforcements, but actually take on enemy heroes in castles. Let's go for Falagal first. We're not going to be able to get him. But that's moderately okay. Alright, this guy over here, Thundax, is supposed to get reinforcements from this bloody castle. It's obviously going to take him forever, but that's just life. More Titans, because obviously that's what we need. Clearly we don't have enough Titans. That's because you can, as we have established, never have enough Titans. Bada bing, bada boom. End the turn, watch the castle fall, lose 9 black dragons despite the best efforts. Wishes, hopes and prayers, despite absolutely everything. Just lose horribly. Yep. What can I even do here? Lightning bolt on the trolls. Ow. And then lightning bolt on the trolls. I'm sorry, wall trolls. And then we can't cast lightning bolt on the wall trolls ever again. So we cast Cold Ray on the wall trolls. 24 remain. Fine. Block the wall trolls. Attack the hounds. 22 perish. That's good. Right? It's reasonably good. I could attack them indirectly, but that'll presumably end poorly for me. Fine, let's attack them direct. Nah. Whatever, might as well take it on the chin. I'm gonna get attacked anyway. Let's take out as many of them as I can, which won't be that many. I've done the best I could under the circumstances. I've shaved off some of his forces. That'll have to do. Fine, let's take Merrimack on first. If he goes for Merrimack as I try to go east to get him, well, that's his problem. But he won't be able to get there immediately. I don't think he will. Whatever. My phoenixes may just die here because they're weak, the numbers have dwindled. There's no hope left for them. Which is still fine because I don't need those phoenixes. Even though my forces are smaller than before, Ivan is still kicking ass. Though this is a confrontation against a castle with no heroes inside, so it's not that meaningful. Right. We take him. We head east. We try to deal with Falagal. This guy obviously takes... what day is it? It's day 4. Fine. Take however many halflings you can get. 13. Excellent. Wonderful. More halflings. You leave things well enough alone. Same with you. Wait until next week. And here's Rathmond. Let's have him conquer Sherman. He absolutely should be able to do it with 29 titans, 10 black dragons. Come on now, against a castle with no defending heroes. Easy peasy. And he's got spells at his disposal. Oh, and speaking of spells, he's got a spell power of 16. So that's quite a bit. If I wanted to, I could... yeah, do a number of things, but I think that's completely pointless. What, lightning bolt on the elves? No. What's the point? Yay, we have retaken this. Excellent. We could visit the water wheel. Can't be bothered, though. Can't be bothered. We get this. We head west, then south. Excellent. We're finally getting places now that we have a whopping 2 heroes getting stuff done. Falagal has done diddly squat, and thus he's going to perish. He has entrenched himself within the castle. Well, that's not gonna do him any good. How about we land Fire in Water and take on the Hydras? Is that the way to go? Is that the play? I don't know. Those 2 phoenixes seem like more of a liability at this point than anything else. Wish I could reinforce, but then I would have to explicitly go over get the phoenixes from the single castle that does produce phoenixes. Although I've just retaken another one that does so. Let's try to tackle the Cyclopses first. The Black Dragons get lucky, so double damage, and these guys go down. Glorious, wonderful, magnificent, exquisite. That wasn't the best choice. I've lost a single phoenix, but that's okay. Oh, and Ivan has leveled up. He's got 1 more point of attack. For a whopping total of 19 points of attack, he's level 26 now. How marvelous. No black dragons left to recruit. Predictably enough, but of course. Well then, I guess we shall leave this dreadful place and head back south. Because we can't teleport, that's gonna take a while, but I am prepared to deal with that. You, go over there, get some more halflings. You, can you get me more phoenixes? How many? 21? That's a reasonable proposition, I would say. Fine. Nothing to sneer at, so let's not sneer at the phoenixes. Let's trade away the most basic of resources for gold and try to get a smidgen more. Alright, I almost have all the phoenixes. Getting there. Slowly, but nonetheless, surely. Alright, Rathmond is here. Let's attack another castle. No, it's actually a town. Not that it really matters. Attack the sprites, block the elves. Get attacked, retaliate, slay immediately. And now it's just the dwarves. Attack them with the plethora of rocks. Down they go, no losses sustained. Fenton now belongs to me. Let's lay siege to Troy. Oh, great. Wow, great, wonderful, magnificent. That got retaken pretty much immediately. By Tsabu. Alright, very well then. Your funeral, buddy. Oh no, he's got a single black dragon. I'm shaking in my boots. Those wolves have actually slain a black dragon on my side, because this is not Ivan. The stats aren't that impressive over here. Black dragons can die. But once again, there's a cost associated with recruiting heroes. It's not completely free. So every single time I slay a hero like that, I know I might possibly lose something, but it's still worth it in the grand scheme of things, as long as I keep replenishing faster than I keep on losing stuff. Obviously, it's the velocity that interests us. It's the differential, essentially. It's not necessarily where we are so much as where we are going. It's not even where we are going, it's the rate at which we are going, though. No black dragons on offer whatsoever. How about over here? No. Very well. I shall end the turn then. Alright, let's start out with Rathmond and retake this city. Retaliate, lose nothing, slay the phoenixes. Black dragons deal with the orcs. Almost all of them are down. I could cast these spells, but that's just silly. It feels mighty silly. Alright, titans, slay the remaining orcs. Done! Are there any phoenixes I can recruit? Just out of curiosity. Nope. None whatsoever. Okay, maybe I should head east with Rathmond. For all I know, I should head east, and then I'll be able to possibly get something done. No, I'm fairly confident I should instead head over here, deal with Rebecca, and actually secure this region. This little, it's called the Arm of the Phoenix, this region. Might as well secure this instead of letting Rebecca get an Ardor and retake everything again. I can go after the Halon over here, though, with Ivan. It's a reasonable proposition. Let's have a gander at the map once again. Here's Becky. We shall send Rathmond over here, clearing this out. Here is Ivan. He will go after the Halon over here. They'll keep coming from that castle. The castle over here, huh? Tell you what, I am prepared to lose this castle. The idea is I will send Rathmond deep over here, and once he gets rid of all of that, he's going to obviously come all the way back. At that point, he's going to retake this castle, and he's going to be safely here in the center. However, what will never happen is heroes from here will never arise because the castles will have been taken over. So there will be no enemy heroes here, and they will not be able to be recruited, pestering me from this angle. So the moment I secure this inland bit, I only have to worry about heroes from the center and from the other little arms. But I don't have to worry about this particular one. So going inland and actually getting this stuff done is something you have to do once. And even if you have to redo the stuff over here on your way back, that's also something you have to do once. Whereas if you just keep running around the center in a circle, they'll keep coming back from these little peninsulas, and they'll keep attacking your central regions from there. That's absolutely pointless. And considering how long I've spent running around desperately retaking stuff, I'm absolutely sick of it. So let's not do that anymore. Let's actually do something that in the short term sounds somewhat disappointing, but in the long term is going to bring us wonderful benefits. Instead of just running around and patching things up on the spot. Alright. Right, Rathmond is over here. Let's have a gander once again. Any heroes over here? Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, there's Aerie right there. So I could send Rathmond all the way back to desperately try to protect Sherman, but as I have stated, I will not do that. I will actually have the self-discipline to not do that. I will head south. As stupid as this may seem. It's like pulling a tooth. This is only going to hurt once. And the benefits we are going to reap for the rest of time. Might as well get it out of the way. Alright. Helan's gone. Deal with this. Fine, let's go for the heroes. You get the halflings. That's a lot of halflings. And get the extra resources, of course. You were supposed to get all those extra phoenixes, weren't you? And now that you did, you can finally deliver the reinforcements. 24 mighty phoenixes. Oh yeah, and you haven't been actually diligently collecting resources. Never mind. Well, no, you're still getting on board. I'm not waiting for reinforcements. That takes a long while to collect. 29 elementals. Yes, please. Get on board, deliver reinforcements. You! Get the halflings and the Alchmagi. Wonderful. Can't afford any additional titans. Well, in that case, we shall sell our resources. Hooray. And get one single additional titan. We'll get more further down the line. Obviously, we lose that castle. I know, I was prepared for that. I have mentioned that. I'm not gonna cry over it. We are sending Rathman over here to get Troy. Should be rather straightforward and fast. Kablamo. Slay the Sloshies. And south we go. To slay Luna. Then take the castle over here. Then deal with Becky. Over here we get Viper's Nest. Slay the peasants, block up archers. Can't even slay all the peasants at once. Yeesh. I need reinforcements. Alright, Viper's Nest is ours. We are not going to recruit water elementals. What do we have here? What do we have here? Any other heroes? Anything else of note? This has not been taken over. It's an all mine, but we are not going to bother. There's a hero over here. There's a castle over there. We're going there. We are heading east. Alright, you head on board. You will be delivering reinforcements. You got on board already. You'll be heading towards the middle to deliver those reinforcements eventually. I left a boat though. That could pose an issue. I should recruit another hero and get that boat out of there before it's too late. More titans as future reinforcements. I'm not even gonna bother selling resources. Pointless. You know, I could take this guy, get him on board. This boat poses a significantly higher threat than any then I get benefits in terms of any resources I get from over here. Alright. And of course, all of this gets taken back. Well, that might be a bit of a cause for concern, a bit of an issue. Bit of a thorn in my side, because once again, this region is under siege. And if Dawn gets on that boat, my goodness, am I ever done. Well, I'm not heading back with Rathmond. I have already decided on my course of action, and I'm not turning around, pretty much no matter what. And that leaves Ivan. Can he actually make it there in time? Is it better to teleport? I hate this. He's heading back. Let's allow Rathman to do his thing. I can manage as long as Dawn doesn't get the boat, but I think Dawn is about to get the boat. And then I'll presumably have to reload very far back to deal with that. Dawn doesn't even have a particularly horrifying army. But if she gets on that boat, what am I... You know, that's a good point. Hypothetically, I could have defeated... But then again, I think the enemy AI is scraping the bottom of the barrel over here. I'm dealing with basically... Look at this. Here's Luna, the sorceress. Attack at 0, defense at 1, and then 5-8. This is pathetic. Most of the stuff, as far as I can tell, is just level 1 heroes or something along those lines. I think Rathman might have been the only serious foe. But yeah, in principle, I should keep that in mind. Disrupting Ray. Alright, losses will sustain a single Black Dragon loss, that's okay. I got 4 Drogues. No Phoenixes to recruit over here, predictably enough. All of this has already been acquired. But there's Rebecca over there in the tent. Go away, I can't help you. Aww. Alright, moment of truth. Moment of truth. Will she actually get on the boat? No, she didn't. Oh, thank goodness. She did not get on the boat. This lady is not for sailing. Thank goodness. Alright. Now we can take care of her. Get rid of that stupid boat so it's never a threat again. And deal with everything else. Progress has been made, for once. Goodbye. And let's retake the Castle of Hilltop next turn. Ugh. She's a wizard, not a sorceress. Yeah, good point, good point. Of course she's not a sorceress. That's why she's not willing to set sail. I don't know, maybe she gets seasick or something. Should I give 5 halflings to Uncle Ivan over here? He seems to be fond of them. Uncharacteristically, well, uncharacteristically, unusually so. Disrupting Ray, classic. Gotta love Disrupting Ray. The only spell that just stacks ad infinitum, ad nauseam. All right, orange tent. Follower. Gotcha. The orange password is follower. She actually fled? Why, yes, indeed. But who cares? It's utterly irrelevant. Either way, we have this particular castle, and all of this stuff has been taken over by Eri, who's got diddly squat again. We can head back, take that over, slay him, and all will be fine. However, we will never have to go inland ever again. Unless we leave this bit undefended. But tell you what, we don't have to defend every single bit along the stretch, just this little narrow choke point. That's all we have to defend. So yeah, taking care of all of this made perfect sense. Alright. Anything else? This guy is supposed to keep on recruiting titans. It's gonna take him a while, but he'll eventually get there. Look at the mighty forces he's got. Well, I was about to say at his disposal. Are they at his disposal, really? Not exactly. Should I get the extra rocks? Let's leave things be. He will eventually deliver those stupid reinforcements to my primary and secondary hero, I guess. Possibly, maybe, at some point. There's just 12 titans. I have even more titans elsewhere. There's so many units everywhere. Oh, a few black dragons got snatched away from me. Ah, well, I'll live. Rathman is heading north. It's gonna take him a while, but I can wait. And since Rathman is heading north, by the way, you can have fun there. I could, as a third hero, and you know, that wouldn't be particularly stupid, considering that the enemy is now scraping such depths of the barrel that it's got units with, say, I don't know, 20 Minotaurs and a couple of Hydras running around trying to accomplish things. So yeah, in theory, Fundax could just be the one-eyed man in the Valley of the Blind. Well, not the Valley of the Blind, the Land of the Blind. Let's not confuse the Land of the Blind with the Valley of the Blind. Very different concepts, with very different consequences. Alright, we've snatched it from enemy hands. No dragons available. Again, because they got taken away from me. Well, you see, that's the thing. It's like a magician's trick. There was a fake bottom, and beneath that bottom, there's another bottom. It's very topologically complicated to find out that beneath that bottom, which was the real bottom, lies another bottom that doesn't seem to play particularly well with the known principles of Euclidean geometry. But hey, what do I know? Maybe our world just falls that way. Alright, there's a red hero over here. I think I'll just head east, slay that hero, try to deal with this pit. And you know why I can do that? Because Rathman is... no, Rathman is over here, actually. So I can't really afford to do that, can I? Because these guys might head south. Well, not necessarily. I can go over here, I'll just have to come back immediately. Otherwise, my castle will get taken away from me. Again! I didn't get the reinforcements. Ugh, who cares? It's not like he needs the reinforcements desperately. So much barrel scraping. But either way, my plan seems to be clear. Rathman is heading north, returning through here, and then he'll try to defend this choke point, and possibly this region from any incursions from the guys from the east teleporting in. That's his job, and then I'm going to send Uncle Ivan to the east to clear out this bit, that bit, and then finally the stuff to the north. However, I think the way I want to prioritize things is I want to deal with this little stretch, this little, whatever you want to call it, the arm of this little shape, this little galaxy thingy. Because we have this one covered, with Rathman taking over his bit to the west, we'll have a second one, and as I send Ivan here, we'll have 3 out of 4. At which point, all that will remain is this, and quite possibly the final castle. But I'll leave that for the future. For now, I guess. Thank you all oh so much for watching, and you will see me elsewhere.